Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to this episode of Coach Cara's podcast, Itchy, Bitchy and guests. How are you all? Hope you're well. It's Thursday, by the way. I'm recording this on a Thursday, so I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Thursday the 11th of September. I've done a couple of hours coaching this morning and I've trained myself. So we had a workout today in tribute to all the people that lost their lives on 9/11/2001. So we all collectively put ourselves through the pain, as it's probably the least we can do. Yeah. So hope you're having a lovely day. Right, I want to speak about something today. Right, it might hurt a wee bit, Might be something for you to think about. A wee bit of homework. I like to give you homework, alright? But it's quite common for midlife women not to consider having a coach or to think about having a coach, but thinking about that it's not for them. And a lot of that is just a thought process, and it's quite common to think that you're not worth a coach or that you don't need a coach because you can do it yourself, right? Whereas everybody, you all know, I am a coach. I have coaches. I have a CrossFit coach. I have a fitness coach. I have a business coach. I did have a fat loss coach as well. And I think when you see the value in it, it's something that you would sign up for, because it's like having a wingman and you're trusting somebody else's knowledge. But we often think that if we're not like a high performing athlete, or if we're not like a high performing individual at work, that we don't need coaches, whereas we actually do. Yeah. Because like I said, it's like having a wingman. It's somebody that gives you accountability, somebody that looks after you and tells you exactly what to do. So it actually frees up brain space, right? But sometimes our lack of focus on our goals, or our lack of starting on our goals, is because we're effectively handing over responsibility to somebody else. Like, I hear quite a lot, alright, I'm too busy. I also hear quite a lot, I can't sort my nutrition out because my family eats differently from I do. Hear quite a lot about coming to CrossFit or coming to my ladies at Lift. My friend doesn't want to come with me. She doesn't want to do it. So all of these things, right, they are just excuses. I know you'll be like, fuck's sake, Caris, you're a fucking wido, right? But it's true, and you all know I have done all of this stuff myself, which is why I speak about it, alright? But they might feel real, like right now when you're saying that to somebody, I'm too busy for fat loss. Right, and that might feel real and you might actually believe that, but you are literally just giving yourself an excuse, alright? And it's those things that are holding you back, and it's those things that are stopping you from starting to work towards your goals. And that is ultimately what my coaching is all about. I just need you to start. Everything else is figure outable. Everything else we can work out along the way. You just need to start. And it's those barriers that we put up by telling ourselves effectively that it's somebody else's fault. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to try and get you to take a step towards your goals today without guilt and without waiting for the perfect time, and with some belief in yourself. So common problems, right, that I hear, or common excuses that I hear all the time are, I'm too busy. Right, so I'm too busy really means I don't see myself important enough to prioritise myself. Very common in midlife women, very common. I'm just having a sip of coffee. Look, McDonald's got coffee. Yeah, very, very common. So when you're telling me that you're too busy, you're actually telling me that you don't see yourself as a priority, and that's shit, because nobody else is going to prioritise you at this age. Right, my family eats differently. That is also quite common, especially if you've got young kids, especially if you've got kids or husbands that are fussy or anything like that, alright? And what that actually means is that you don't want to disrupt anybody else, so you're just going to sacrifice yourself, right? Because it's easier for you to eat what they want to eat as opposed to making a separate meal or whatever, alright? But what you're telling me is, like, I'm not asking you to set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm, because that's ridiculous, all right? But there has to be something that's figure outable, and just because you've always done it that way doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it that way. Most women that I speak to that need to make some changes at home, right, whether it's cooking different food or eating different food or not cooking different food, or asking your partner or your husband to do more housework or to take over some tasks like putting the bins out or whatever, right? Most folk just need to be asked to do it and they'll do it no bother. But we turn it into this thing inside us that we've got guilt if we ask somebody to do something for us. Like, let's face it, right? You're not asking them to change the world. You're literally asking them to cook the dinner 2 nights a week, or to put the bins out, or to walk the dog. Do you know, it's not massive. You're just asking for a bit of equality. That's all. Do you know, split the tasks up and stuff, all right? But you need to get over that guilt, all right? Absolutely. Also, another one I hear, my friend doesn't want to do it with me, right? I do hear that quite a lot coming to the gym and stuff, right? And I get it. We all need a pal, absolutely 100%, right? But what you're effectively saying is, I'm scared, right? And that's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be scared of the unknown. Of course it is. It's when that scared of the unknown stops you doing stuff, then that's when it becomes a problem. And also, you can make new pals. It doesn't mean you don't love your old pals anymore, any less. Yeah? Also, I've tried it before and it didn't work. This is up there where, I've literally tried everything and my metabolism is broken. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see me rolling my eyes, by the way. Right? What that means is I'm actually scared of failing again. Right? Whereas, in fact, we only fail when we give up. Trying and trying and trying and trying is not failing. Absolutely not. And remember, I'm not looking for perfection. As a coach, I am absolutely not looking for perfection. I'm not perfect. 100% not. Absolutely not. So I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just asking you to start being consistent. That's it. All right. And the thing I hear the most in the whole world, got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about this one actually, is it's my age, or it's my hormones. So what that really means, right, is that it feels a little bit safer and you're more comfortable blaming science, i.e. biology, than admitting that you're too scared to make changes. So I want those all to stop, right? So if you've ever said one of them, or you're currently saying one of them now to somebody or to yourself, I want you to think about reframing them, right? Because this is where mindset helps, and our thought process helps overcome those fears. Definitely. I am not a psychologist, by the way, all right? But I do understand negative talk. I do understand anxiety, and I do understand all the shit that comes with being middle-aged. So, if you're telling me you're too busy, I want you to think about, you don't actually need more time. You just need better boundaries and different priorities. So the priorities would be yourself, obviously. Right, and I just want to say, I've said this before as well, prioritising yourself doesn't necessarily mean it's the detriment to everybody else. Like, you're not being selfish. You're not sticking 2 fingers up to everybody else in your life and saying, fuck you. Do you know, you're just learning to split your time better and more equally so that you have some of that time as well as the time that you give to everybody else, all right? So we need to set boundaries. We absolutely. Remember, most of our problems come from a decision we've made, a decision we refuse to make, or shite boundaries. Yeah, there's something for you to think about. Right, family eating. Again, if you have kids or a partner or whatever and you want to change your life, whether it's health-wise, you want to change anything about your life, right, you maybe need to improve your nutrition, so you need better quality of food, right? You can do that and you can be a role model for everybody else. I'm not asking you to twist their arm up their back to get them to join you. Chances are they probably will if they see the benefits of you eating healthy. all right? But you don't have to put a gun to their head. You don't have to force their arm up their back, all right? You just need to do you. And you just need to look after you. And if you want to have a salad for your dinner when everybody else is banging into a chippy 3 nights a week, all right, that's okay. You actually just need to have the courage of your convictions, right? You're not responsible for everybody else's moods. You're not responsible for what they put in your body, unless they're a child, and then obviously you are. But you can add some prep in with this free time. When you start prioritising yourself, you can prioritise your own meals. Do some batch cooking at the weekend. Stick them in the freezer for you, so you just need to take them out one at a time and bang them in the microwave. Yeah? You can chop all your veg up at the beginning of the week so that you can just roast it in the oven, or chop your salads up so that you can literally take them out of your Tupperware tubs and put them on a plate. It's just boundaries, but we dramatise it sometimes as women, all right? Friends not joining in, right? So if you don't want to go to the gym on your own, then I would ask you how much you actually want to get fit. All right? It's not your friend's journey. It's your journey. And it goes back to, you are not responsible for everybody else, right? Especially not your friends. I'm assuming they're adults as well, right? So try and get over that one time that it's going to be a bit awkward. Because that's all it is. It's just going to be a bit awkward because you're walking in somewhere that you don't know, right? And you don't know anybody. But let's face it, right? Most humans are decent. They are. They'll actually be nice to you, and they'll smile at you and they'll say hiya. And then when you go back the next week, it'll be a bit easier because you'll know the layout of the gym. You'll know where the toilets are. You'll know where the water station is. You'll know roughly what you're doing because you've done it once before. So that one time of feeling uncomfortable for about 10 minutes, is that what's stopping you? All right, it's your journey. You get to do what you want. Remember, this is midlife. You literally get to rewrite your next 50 years. Don't throw that away for the sake of being uncomfortable for 10 minutes. That's ridiculous. All right. Past failure. I absolutely get that, right? I have literally tried every diet in the world, all right? But the reason that we've failed previously is because the mode of dieting, speaking about fat loss here, right? The mode of dieting that we attempted was unsustainable. It wasn't you. It wasn't down to your shitty willpower. It wasn't down to you being weak or a failure. It was the method that was the problem. I guarantee that, all right? This is why coaching, like I do with my ladies in the Midlife Reset and in Ladies That Lift, and in my new coaching group, which starts at the end of September, On Fire, right? It gives you accountability. It gives you somebody to talk through your barriers with. It gives you somebody to make suggestions as to how you can make some changes. It gives you support. And more importantly, it gives you the tools to make those changes. It's not me sitting going, right? It's actually a two-way thing. So it gives you somebody to bounce things off of. A wingman, if you like, all right? So past failures was nothing to do with you. It was probably the mode of dieting or the mode of exercise that you chose was not the right one for you. And it was probably unsustainable, I know. Right? And finally, age. Like, oh, seriously, come on. You've got half your life left. You've got half your life left. At no point ever should you ever cite your age as a problem. Hormones, admittedly, they make it a bit difficult, but they don't make anything impossible. You can drop body fat in midlife. You can take up exercise in midlife. You can learn new skills in midlife. Of course you can. Of course you can. Absolutely. Right? So it makes things more difficult, but surely it makes them more important as well. Like, if you've packed on 2 stone or whatever in the last couple of years, right, that doesn't have to be your life. This is why it makes it more important. It makes your habits more important, because your habits are what gives you the motivation and makes it easier to stick to your calorie deficit. Your habits are what makes you turn up to the gym when you say you're going to turn up to the gym. All right, so think about those reframes. My coaching, I teach women to let go of guilt, right? And to get this selfish feeling out their head. As I've said to you before, all right, putting yourself first is not to the detriment of everybody else. You're just setting some boundaries and splitting your time that you have more evenly. You can't give all your time to everybody else. You are actually allowed some time to yourself, all right? So I also help women take responsibility without shame and actually start to tell the truth to themselves, and then eventually they'll want to say that out loud as well. So it is about, if you're telling me, oh, I can't do that because of my age and I can't do that because of my hormones, that's because you're hiding behind the biology and the science, whereas you're actually not doing it because you're scared. And that's not cool, right? Fear, it's okay to be apprehensive about the unknown. Of course it is. That's absolutely cool. But letting that fear and that unknown stop you from living your life is ridiculous. So I show women that change in midlife is not only possible, because it is possible, of course it is, but it can actually be the most freeing time in your life ever, right? Over the last 40 odd years, this could actually be the time that you have less constraints. You've actually got the balls to step up for yourself and to put yourself first, knowing that if you look after yourself, it absolutely allows you to look after everybody else as well. That's pretty much what my coaching is all about, all right? So if you've ever caught yourself saying, I'm too busy, family won't support me, or it's just my age, I just want you to think about that. I want you to have a wee pause, take a wee 5 minutes, maybe write it down. I am a big journaler. I do believe that seeing things written down does help, all right? And think about what you're telling yourself. Is that an actual fact? Is it an actual fact? Or is it an excuse that's keeping you comfortable and keeping you warm and cosy? All right? Nobody else is going to do it for you. At no point ever is somebody going to come along and say to you, oh, I see that you've got no time for yourself. Just give me all your jobs for the next hour and you're going to have a wee time for yourself, right? Nobody's going to say that. At some point, you're going to either need to ask for help or delegate, right? It's not the end of the world. You're just asking another human being to give you a dig out. It really isn't the end of the world. As I said before, most other human beings are decent. They will actually help you. All right? So, this is my coaching. This is what I want you to think about, all right? Whether I'm actually coaching you or whether you're just listening to me, I want you to think about what your barriers are, what your excuses are, and what's stopping you, and then think about the reframes that I've given you, all right? It's not selfish to prioritise yourself. It's a fucking necessity. All right? Bye-bye, my lovelies. Speak to you soon.